Hi, I'm Madeline Bradford, the Associate Editor of InFocus.
And I'm Roving Reporter Carrington Fox, standing in for Editor Janet Kurtz.
And welcome back to In Good Company.
Well, thanks so much. I love being here.
Welcome back to the studio, Carrington. We're happy to have you.
Always a pleasure.
And we have a very fun week this week. We are returning with another installment of our At Home with InFocus series presented by our friends at Myers Flooring of Nashville. And this week we have a sneak peek of Brad Poe's home. And I got to tour his home when we were filming, and it is this beautiful historic restoration. He has restored the original glass windows himself. And it also used to be an apartment complex, which is really fascinating. And he's kept some of the original mailboxes and details in there. So I'm excited for our viewers to get to take a look now.
Hi, InFocus. Come on in. Welcome to my house. I've been in this house for about 28 years now. I bought it in 1998. When I bought the house, it was a single family for all intents and purposes, but it had been converted to 4 apartments. And it stayed that way for about 40 years. So it still had sort of an apartment feel. There were a lot of dark hallways and closets and walls and small rooms, and it just didn't make sense to keep it that way. So I wanted to restore it to its grandeur, but also kind of add a little bit of my own flair to it. I'm a little bit eclectic in the design I like, because I like historic, old restoration, and I love modern. So as we tour the house, you're going to see a little bit of both. A little bit of modern take, and then you'll see some of the historic kind of melded into that, okay? The room we're in right here is probably my favorite room in the house. I call this the library. I was grateful that when I bought the house, all of the bookcases and the fireplace were pretty well preserved. I didn't have to touch those. I made a few modifications in the bookcases, but thankfully all of that was the way it is. But there was a wall right here, because I said it was 4 apartments. This was 1 apartment. Another apartment was on this side, and there were 2 upstairs. So when you walked in the front door, it was so crowded in here. It was so congested. I had this wall taken out right here. And my architect, who's also a good designer, came up with this idea. He created this look here. This is not original, but he created this to match the bookcases over there and the columns here to match the columns that are on the front porch. As I said, it was 4 apartments, and in the wall right here, there was a mailbox, 4 mailboxes. When I took the wall out, I didn't want to discard the mailbox, because again, it's part of the history of the house, and I like preserving as much of the history of the house as I can. So I saved the mailbox. I had it refinished and had the keys made, but I kept it, and we found a place for it here. And oddly enough, these were the doorbells. They were still working when I bought the house. They don't work any longer, but as people came in the door, you could just press the doorbell to each unit there. When I bought the house, this area of the house here was very congested with a lot of hallways and bathrooms, the washer dryer set over on this side. And as I started tearing out walls, I realized this, in the original design, this was 1 big room. So I took it back to a single room. And just to add a little bit of flair, I came up with this coffered ceiling idea, and it kind of makes it a little more cozy.
Well, that was great. We loved touring Brad's house, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and newsletter to not miss the full tour when it drops on Thursday.
Terrific. And if past videos are any guide, I will run home and try to clean my house to get some level of tidiness that we see on these beautiful videos.
I know, they're very inspiring, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, Carrington is here to talk about a few fun stories for us. In July, in our newsletter, you wrote about Trevecca Urban Farm, and you have a new layer to the story you'd like to share with us today.
I could have stayed at Trevecca Urban Farm all day, all week. It's such an interesting place. Trevecca Nazarene University is on Murfreesboro Road. It's about 80 acres, and 4 of those acres are dedicated to an urban farm. So if you are somewhere out around the Murfreesboro Pike and hear a rooster, that's what's going on. There are roosters, there are goats, pigs. Really, it is so much fun to be there. One of the projects of the Trevecca Urban Farm is called TreeCycle, which is a clever name. It's sort of Trevecca, but also it involves trees and bicycles. The program pays young people to do 2 things. One is to plant trees and help flush out the Nashville canopy, which is so important. especially in these hot days as we're feeling this. Another part of the project is to have young people refurbish bicycles and provide those bicycles to kids who don't have access to them.
Oh, wow.
So TreeCycle is an incredible program, very, very clever, totally in keeping with the cleverness and sustainability that we see at Trevecca Urban Farm. But one of the byproducts of the TreeCycle program is that suddenly there are a lot of bicycle parts on campus. And these clever Trevecca urban farmers take those bicycle parts and they turn them into the most innovative and somewhat wacky but completely useful Rube Goldberg machines to do things on the farm. So I can't wait for y'all to see this video. Good morning, I'm Carrington Fox, and we are today at Trevecca Urban Farm with Farm Manager Jason Adkins and Farm Director Matthew Burnham, and some very loud roosters. Well, we were here earlier this summer and we wrote a story in the InFocus newsletter talking about the Trevecca Urban Farm, which teaches principles of permaculture and sustainable agriculture to students in high school and college. So tell us a little bit more about the farm, where we're standing. What happens here all year?
So we are just over a mile away from downtown Nashville. We are 1.3 miles from the state capitol. So we're very urban and close to a lot of big tall buildings and a lot of concrete. And we created a little oasis here in the middle of a...
So in the middle of the 80 acres of Trevecca Nazarene University, you operate about 4 acres of farmland.
That's right.
All right, so who else do we have? Well, obviously we've got the roosters and the chickens.
We have 18 ducks, 2 pigs, 2 guardian dogs, 9 goats.
One thing we did not talk about in the newsletter item, because there just wasn't enough time, was the TreeCycle program. And I love this freestanding program within the Trevecca Urban Farm. Tell us about TreeCycle.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to work with the Metro Health Department, and they asked us how we wanted to expand our programming to include youth. And so we'd already begun using a lot of bicycles on the farm. I commute by bicycle, and we have different bicycle contraptions, which we'll come to see later. And so we thought we would include young people who, we see a lot of people riding bikes around our neighborhood, but they're not in great shape. So we thought we would teach young people how to fix bikes, ride them safely, and equip them with bikes and helmets and locks so that they could stay riding. So we pay young people to fix bikes and plant trees. That's the heart of our program. We want to pay them because we want an economic opportunity and show the dignity of their work and give them a green collar job as their first job. We would love to see them go on to have a conservation career.
So here we are in the TreeCycle workshop. Tell us what happens in here and who works on these bikes. Where do the fixed bikes go?
Yeah, so we have a mechanic who works in here along with the student mechanic, and then other staff members work with young people to fix up their own bikes. Maybe they have a bike that's broken, maybe they don't have a bike, and so we give them one of ours to fix up, to tear down and build back up and make it their own. And for that effort, we give them the bike and they get a helmet and a lock, and we teach them how to ride it safely.
What else can you do with these bike parts? Once you've got a bunch of bike parts, you can make more than just bikes.
Yes, we can make other objects, useful objects, like we have a grinder upstairs where we can grind wheat. We can also use it to sift compost, which Matthew built a composter that is part bike frame to make it easy to turn. We are going to demonstrate a blender that runs off a bicycle.
Matthew's got a blender on the back of that bike.
Oh, yes.
And his pedal power is churning the blender, and he's making smoothies for us on the road.
Yes.
This is like a food truck, but a food bike.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you guys. This is a great morning.
Well, this is an old Sears exercise bike that we welded together a frame for our wheat grinder, which is also a corn grinder, so we can grind small and large grains with this.
Have you grown these corn grains
So yeah,
yourselves?
all the cornmeal that we've ground here has been stuff that we've grown.
All right, this is great fun. Thank you so much for inviting us to the TreeCycle program at Trevecca Urban Farm. This was so much fun. Jason Adkins and Matthew Burnham, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you had another exciting story that relates to a story you did for us in July with Elizabeth Burch Interiors.
Yes, in July, I wrote about Elizabeth, and one of the things that she said that stuck with me was that her favorite client is a client who might be emptying their nest, their children are leaving home, and the homeowners are thinking, we want to start from scratch or do some things that we've been thinking about all along but didn't want to do until the kids left. And I thought, you know what, my kids are leaving and my house needs a refresh. So I asked Elizabeth if she would talk through it with me. And I went to her studio and I said, she asked me for some prompts, what's your style? What do you want to look like? And I said, oh gosh, the two parts of my brain. One part is sort of cottage core,
yes,
chickens in the backyard, gardens all around the house. And the other part of me really just wants a spare, tidy white cube of a gallery to hang beautiful art with very little distraction.
Right.
And I think she just about fired me as a client. But then she went to her shelves and bins of fabrics and wallpapers and colors and textures and metals and pulled them all out. And I can't believe it. She really captured what I wanted.
That's
she
amazing.
Found all these textures and colors and layered all these things in a way that was very spare and relaxing and really gave me a path that if I ever do get around to cleaning up my house, I think I know the direction I'm headed.
Wow, so it's like a mood board for you to go off of.
A beautiful mood board, and she's going to teach us how to make one.
Incredible. Well, let's take a look.
Good morning. I'm Carrington Fox with InFocus magazine, and I'm here today with Elizabeth Burch of Elizabeth Burch Interiors.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for inviting us to your studio.
Of course.
We had so much fun earlier this month writing about Elizabeth's work for the July issue of InFocus magazine. She's the subject of our In Design column. And as I was reading the column about the type of work you like to do, I thought, I am her perfect client.
Yes, you are.
I'm a soon-to-be empty nester with a house that has been worn down by boys, and I'm ready for a refresh.
Perfect. Yes, we love working with clients like Carrington and other people that are kind of moving into that empty nester phase. They've been kind of waiting till the kids are out so they can really lean into their design style and all of their wants and needs within their home and really make it work for the next phase of life. So we like to first talk with clients about their style and all of their design wants and needs, and then we like to spend a lot of time scouring Pinterest, our favorite, and then just kind of gathering inspo, and then we move into the mood board, which is a lot of just pulling fabrics from our library here, throwing them on the table, seeing what fits. A lot of times we're like, don't like that, right back to the drawer. This is like my dream, some of my dream schemes, we'll call them. So I kind of just pin things up that I find when I'm rifling through and I think look good together, and maybe I can use in my own home or a client might like them.
With that in mind, I think my house is sort of cottage core. I love animals, I love colors, but in my house 2.0, I would like more white space to display art in a sort of less maximalist kind of way.
So we want layered and we want white space.
Yes, I offer you the perfect challenge.
Yes. So I kind of started thinking about that, and I have this pull just to kind of kick us off. It's a little kind of a quirky take on cottagecore. I always think of cottagecore being gingham, plaid, stripes, and this kind of has it all. And it has these fun like oranges and purples and yellows and greens. So usually what we do is we'll start with kind of a hero fabric. And
hero fabric.
Yes.
I love it. Okay.
So we'll just call this our hero fabric for this one. We can go ahead and pull some metals. This is my handy dandy visual comfort box. Love it. So we usually just try out a few different things if we want to go brass or if we want to go more of like a polished nickel.
I love
has
this.
Always been popular. Polished nickel is coming back in style. So since we have our hero, I like to kind of go maybe a large scale or a small scale. So that's kind of reading both, but more small scale to me. So I would go with a large scale, maybe a floral. I always try to put a floral in. Some people are like, absolutely no florals, but I try to sneak it in.
Now, I love floral, but as I say cottage core, I don't think I'm up for cabbage roses or anything too...
Okay. No chintz.
No chintz.
So then I just start pulling. There's not any blue in here, but I think it can play off of it. I like this one to have floral, but it's more of like a two-tone, so it's not.
I like the
so
subtle
in your
texture.
face.
Yes. I really like how this is coming together, honestly.
It's kind of crazy, but I like it. So now that I've started pulling things, I really love this for drapery. I mean, it's just such a standout moment. So maybe let's find a more neutral textured wallpaper that we could put behind that. Like this is
gosh.
kind of fun.
And that goes so nicely here, very subtle.
So that could be a really fun layering moment, and you have kind of your white background here. So let's say this was going to be a place where you would hang a lot of art. So you would have your drapery, wallpaper, could maybe do some picture lights above art in the brass finish. And then these could be, you know, if it was a sitting area, we could recover chairs in this. We could put a fun orange pillow, maybe with a pipe of one of the other colors in here.
Then what would be our next step? Once I've chosen my mood board, I'm in this mood. This is my mood.
So if we have the mood board kind of approved and ready, we will then work on, you know, where each fabric is going to go, like I said. So we will get quotes for drapery, quotes for pillows, quotes for wallpaper install, and then we put together all the pricing and everything in a pretty presentation for you, and then hopefully it's approved and we move to ordering.
Elizabeth, thanks so much for letting us come in your studio and seeing your mind at work. I'm really excited about my mood board. I love your mood board.
Yes, manifesting these schemes.
Yes, well, thank you so much, and we'll look forward to getting started on some new design ideas.
Of course, thank you for coming.
Well, that was our week this week. We had so much fun content to bring you. Thank you once again to Carrington for being here with us.
Thanks for inviting me. I always love to be here.
Absolutely. And next week, we are kind of back into event season. We have a lot of fun things to bring you. L'été du Vin for the Nashville Wine Auction is kicking off with the vintners tasting, the patrons party, and the event itself. So you'll definitely want to catch that coverage. I am covering the Bright Souls Bash for Jonathan's Path, which I'm super excited about. And we also bring you coverage from the A Tennessee Waltz Patrons Party. So be sure to catch all that content, subscribe to our YouTube channel and our newsletter to never miss a beat, and follow us on social media. And remember that with you, our InFocus friends, we are in good company. Cheers!